Alright, what's going on, guys? Danny at Land Shark. So I'm going to talk about this reversal trade setup. I'm trading the Russell 2000 right now. Hopefully we can capture this. I'm going to go step by step. I have basically my analysis chart on the left and then the entry chart on the right. I mean, whether this works, we'll get to see live here. This is kind of a preview of the live trade room. But let me talk about it before I get into this trade, the setup on this. So typically this isn't a trade I would recommend taking. If you're trading small lots, and I'll talk about the reasons why on this, but the reason I'm making the video is it's more of an advanced trade setup, and I'll talk about how to trade a reversal trade off like an open setup. So typically you have this huge gap fill on this. This is where price just filled in this gap. This market rallied right off of the open. So on an entry time frame, when you look at this chart, you get a news event this morning that basically brought down this Globex move to these lows. Right, there's actually larger wicks on this. I just have it turned off, and I can turn it right back on actually for the sake of the video. I just try not to look at them on one chart because I want to see the larger bars. But anyway, so the overnight session on the Globex, you have this massive run up, and let's talk about it here. So you have this move up on Globex on these highs. So we come in this morning, there's a news event that puts price right off the open all the way down to these lows. Right, so this level is where price reacted. You get a gap here, and here's our prior high of day. So I got long off the open right off of the this breakdown off another level that I won't talk about in this video. But you had prior high of day sitting here on this, and once we cleared this, right, we talk about understanding how these ranges work. Right, price is basically off to the races. So once you get above this range, you need to start looking for targets above these highs, rather, right? So we clear this high here. That's your first clue that say, okay, look, this market just broke the range, right? It's going back up to a new price area that's trying to find price discovery. I need to start looking for long trade entries. That's all you should be thinking about when you break those ranges. The short trade's off the kind of table, right? So I missed the long. I covered part of my long here. We have an auto trader called the Remora that took the long for me, so I'm sitting in that long already. But now what I'm doing is more of this advanced trade. Is I'm basically shorting as price got up to these highs here, shorting this gap fill way up here at 1172. Right, that's really my clue number one, and I'm a more price action type trader. I like to read price like this, so I don't even look at this doji and say, okay, this is why I'm shorting this. I just see a massive run up on my 60-minute chart. Right, I see this massive run up on this chart. I'm aware there's a gap here at 1174, but I want to come and test this for a quick scalp to see if I can't get this to come back to the target on this would be this candle's high right here. So if I bring this up, you want to go and find a prior high where price is kind of being supported. So that would be like 1169. If that breaks, it's going to come back to these highs. That's the target on this. So this is a range reversal. It's a fade trade, right? This is a really hard trade to make. It's counter trend. It's a really, I would say, advanced trade to make. Again, the reason I'm making it is maybe some people find help from this. If we were in the trade room, I would be making this trade right now. This is live, and I would tell everybody, don't take this trade with me, or if you do take this trade, trade small lots. Like you can see my screen, I only have a 3 lot on this, and the reason I have a 3 lot is because I'm scalping this move. I'm not trend trading with this, and I'm not looking to basically set up a trade where I'm going to take 5, 10, 15 points and I'm going to peel off contracts. I'm just looking for a quick, really, if I can bring it back to this candle open at 68 for 3 points, and make $400, $500, $600 off a quick opening scalp before year closes, that's the trade setup I'm looking to take. Right, so we're getting this pullback here on this right now. Make sure you have your entry charts up and understand these kind of setups. So let me get rid of this line. That doesn't really matter. The lines that matter are these yellow lines you're seeing here. So it's important to understand. I think I made a video the other day about this, about having gap fills lined up, because when price breaks above or below a range, right, we've got to, when we're in that trade long, like there are more just in this trade long now, we need to understand how far potentially this move can last, so we can either reverse or try and get short this move, right? And so all we're looking to do on this is really bring this down. And if we can get, I really love it to get to 68.60 for us if we could get it there. So the other thing too is, for those of you who know me or trade, I'm a big fan of relative strength index. I use it on a lot of products. I don't say I would take trades solely based off that, but I do want to check it. When you get massive overbought situations that correlate with a gap fill up here like we had, right? We had a gap fill to sell. Let's kind of highlight this. So you had a gap fill here, number one. You had a massive run up, right? And you had RSI all basically telling you, look, this might be an area where price or momentum may look to slow down. So let's give it a little test. Let's, what I would call a feeler trade. Let's feel this market out, and let's put a small lot out there and see, if we get this reversal. It's a really good strategy if you understand how to trade this, and if you have the capital, the risk capital. The one thing I would say as this trade's happening is, if you were long this move up here, and you were able to get the range long on this today. What's our height? Give me 1 sec here, guys. 68.60. So let's get in line here so we get these fills. And actually, I'm just going to take one here because I want to get filled on this. So if you were taking this, let me get back to the conversation on this. If you were taking this long, and you made your 4 or 5 points on this, and I have another video on this on a crude blog. Let's say theoretically you got into this long and you're up 5 points on 3 lots, $1,500. If you come up to these highs, this is a strong sell area. I wouldn't come back in with the same size. I would come back in with a 1 lot. I would risk a little bit of your capital to try and get the pullback, but that's all I would do, right? And I've talked about this before with crude. I have another video I think I made where I was long like a 10 lot on oil one morning. It's on the site. You can take a look at it. I'll actually post it when I edit this video. And then as I got back into the range, I say, look, I'm coming back in with smaller size on this because I'm not going to give back the money that I just made this morning, because that's the worst thing you can do, is give back the money you just made. So let's make sure we try and get a fill in this thing. Let's say the candle up there. 64.80. Now let's 69.40. Let's actually fill that there. Fill this there. Okay, so there we go. So you notice what I just did there. So let me just talk about that too. Is I have zero issue, and I made a video yesterday about this. I have zero issue coming in and just hitting orders to get out of the trades, right? If I'm not seeing price fill me there and it's taking too long, there's not really a time constraint. But if I'm not getting filled and I know I have a price target, I'm just going to get out of the trade, right? Don't wait for price to come to get you. I've talked to traders in the past before, especially in the options market, is like on a stock like Priceline where the spread is huge, right? If those market makers on whatever you're trading aren't going to fill you and you have conviction in your trade, just go out there and take that trade, right? If you have confidence in it, don't sit there and wait and be complacent for the market to give it to you. Just go and take it and get it, right? So I knew I wanted 69.40 because this is the 1 hour candle this close here. So I just wanted to see, because typically you're going to get support here at one of these closes. I'll take that trade quick, like what, $600 I think it was, and that's my morning. So it's small size. Like I said, I missed the second long on this morning. The auto trader caught it for me, but I'm fine with that. So that's a reversal trade. That's looking at the gaps in the larger time frames. I'll pull this out again to take a look at this. See if I can't do it real quick here, guys. And again, I'm going to try and keep making more of these videos because it's summer and I'm trading really small this summer because there's no volume in the market. So hopefully we keep cranking out a lot of these videos and you're able to learn something, and you can actually learn a lot more when you come into the trade room, because this will be going on all morning long. So again, right, this is my analysis time frame. When you're trading these charts, it's easier to have like an entry time frame and an analysis time frame, so you can click through and not have to basically switch through all this. So you can see this extension. This price probably is not going to continue to run. Again, it takes time to understand the feel and the flow of these markets, to understand where you're going to get a reversal. So don't, if you're not at that point, don't worry about it. It's a lot easier when you have gaps to fill, right? If I didn't have this gap up here, I'd be a little bit more hesitant to take that short. The gap was kind of like another clue to tell me, look, let's see if we can't just get this into a run. So you can see price is basically hanging right around this candle, kind of open on that 60-minute, right? So that's where I'm happy with that exit there. Even if this comes all the way back down to, what are we talking about, like 66? I mean, it just doesn't matter. We made money, we can't complain. That's kind of it. So that's it, short video. I'll get this up on the YouTube right now. I'm probably done trading for the day. It's summer. I talk about making your money in the morning and moving on. So that's my day, and we'll see everybody come August in the trader.